Hey guys, welcome back for another episode of Ice Hockey Aussies. We've got another trade to go over with you guys today. It's finally happened. Patrick Kane is off to the New York Rangers. That is Arizona Coyotes legend Patrick Kane, by the way, guys. We're waiting for the announcement of when his jersey will be hung to the rafters. Uh, So yeah, there was a bit going on with this trade. It had to involve three teams in the end. So basically, the breakdown of the trade is the Chicago Blackhawks trade Patrick Kane to the Arizona Coyotes for Vili Sajavi, and the Arizona Coyotes then retain. The Chicago Blackhawks retain $5.25 million of Patrick Kane's salary. From there, Patrick Kane is then traded to the New York Rangers from the Arizona Coyotes, with the Arizona Coyotes retaining $2.625 million of his salary, which means that the New York Rangers only need to fork out $2.625 million of his salary, which was a big piece of this trade. Without it, they just would not have been able to make this happen. They would not have had the cap space. And then, yeah, so from there, basically for being a part of this trade, the Arizona Coyotes acquire a 2025 third round pick, New York Rangers conditional. That condition is that Arizona will receive the better of either New York Rangers or Dallas's third round picks. Now, the Dallas's pick has a condition on it as well. Its third round pick is currently conditional if Lundqvist earns 55 cumulative points over the 2022-2023 and 2023-2024 regular seasons. The 2025 fourth round pick upgrades to Dallas's 2025 third. So basically, there's just a bit going on there to see what's going to happen. But at the end of the day, they're going to get either New York Rangers or Dallas's third round 2025 pick, which with both of those teams being reasonably good, you could imagine it's not going to be too early in the third round. But hey, for retaining a little bit of salary for the rest of this season, you know, third round's not too bad to get. Uh, on the Chicago Blackhawks front, as we said, from Arizona, they have acquired Vili Sarajavi, and from the New York Rangers, they have acquired Andy Welinski, a 2023 second round pick, conditional. Conditions are that the second upgrades to a 2024 first, top 10 protected, or 2025 first, if New York Rangers make the Eastern Conference Finals. And given the strength of this New York Rangers team, that is heavily on the cards considering this team has improved a fair bit since last season, now with some of these moves they've made. And the 2025 fourth round pick from the New York Rangers. The New York Rangers out of this get Patrick Kane at a retained value and get Cooper Zek from Chicago. So, yeah, like I said, a fair bit going on with this trade, but ultimately, Patrick Kane is finally on Broadway. And as everyone's been saying, it's showtime on Broadway. Jaden, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, well, Arizona definitely win the trade because they didn't give up anything and they get a pick. So Arizona just come out winning that just for paying a little bit of the retention of the salary. Regards to Chicago, they don't get much, but 1 year UFA or the guy who wants to go basically. You're not going to get too much. Sarajavi and Walensky are basically I'd say don't play in the NHL. I believe who is it? Sarajavi's 25 and Walensky's 29, so they're not young prospects really. And then they get a second round, which could be a first round, and a fourth round. So not too much for a player like Patrick Kane, but under the conditions, it's the best you can get. And then New York obviously win. They don't give up too much, and then they get the player they want in regards to going it for the cup. So I'd say Arizona and New York definitely win. And honestly, I'd probably say Chicago probably get the most that they could have got for the situation that they were dealt.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I agree with you on that. Arizona basically just picking up picks for holding cap. Um, so yeah, I mean it's always going to be a win for the Coyotes. Just basically banking draft picks to help with their rebuild. Why wouldn't you do it at this point? Uh, yeah. So from their point, I think it's pretty easy. They'll take their third round pick and run. Um, as for Chicago, the condition of that second round pick upgrading to a first, I really like that, and I think it's also a really good chance. Like, obviously, this is a New York Rangers team that went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year, and they lost a couple of players at the end of last year. They brought some players in, but now with the addition of Tarasenko and Patrick Kane to that already dangerous lineup. Yeah, it's just it's gonna be. It is a dangerous time in the East, so there is a good chance that they do get kicked out first or second round. But I can also see these guys going far. So that first round pick, if it can turn into that, that'll be amazing for them. Like you said, the two players they picked up basically nothing. I don't think that was what the trade was really built around. I think that's just more of a moving contracts around sort of thing. But yeah, I also think that Chicago Blackhawks, this is probably the best they were going to get. He didn't want to go anywhere but either, I think he said the New York Rangers or the Toronto Maple Leafs. Um, so he had made it, Patrick Kane made it quite hard for Chicago to really do anything else. Um, and given that there's only, 48 hours left until the trade deadline, if they sort of held out any more, they probably lose him for nothing. Patrick Kane doesn't go anywhere for this playoff run, but Chicago also get nothing. So, at least they get at minimum a second round and a fourth round pick with the potential of that second turning into a first. So I'd still say that it's a win. Um, if they had potentially traded him at the start of the season, they probably get a lot more. So that's probably where they've gone wrong here. They should have just looked to move him at the beginning of the season. But hey, you know, shit happens, and you take what you can get and you move on. But yeah, New York Rangers acquire that final piece. We did a video earlier on with the three trade targets for them being Timo Meyer, Patrick Kane, or Tarasenko, thinking they'd get one of them, and they've snared two. So they've snared two big trade targets. They've added some ridiculous firepower to their lineup. I think this is a great move by them.
Yeah, it is interesting. Like I was thinking today, like with all these moves from the East, it was kind of making me sad or angry. Like you're a player, you go through 50, 60 games through the season, you're pushing hard, and it's like yeah, we're going into the playoffs, and I'm helping out, and then your team goes and makes all these trades, and like, all right, I'm gonna be sidelined, or I got traded to another team that's not gonna play playoffs. Like it's pretty rough. I would like to say that, you add stars in regards to Tarasenko, Kane, and whatnot, and on paper it looks good. What I fear, and this goes the same for Toronto with what they've been doing, just because you're adding quality names doesn't mean it's going to work out chemistry-wise on the field. If they fit the coach's play, or they just don't fit what the line mates you've already got on the ice. So that's my big concern with that is that you get the big names, but do they actually fit what they need? Are they going to play that sort of model? And yeah, that's my big concern with the Rangers and the Leafs and what they've done. And maybe they destabilize the great product that they've built. Um, but honestly, I find that the unlikely side of things to happen, just because of how big the stars are in regards to Kane and Tarasenko.
Yeah, I think what also helps is the Kane Panarin sort of Panarin link again. We've seen them do it in the past, so I have no doubt that they'll link up quite well again. But yeah, I see what you're saying. On it, yeah, I know this isn't about Toronto, this video, but on the Toronto front, um, the one thing I will say about that is he is just shaken that side up with the trades he's made. But I kind of like it a little bit because he's gone, do you know what? I'm not going to do the same thing over and over again and just keep getting kicked out in the first round. I'm going to shake this team up. I'm going to pull in what I think this team needs and go from there. Because if he didn't do anything, or he just pulled in, like, maybe he just pulls in Ryan O'Reilly, and then they get kicked out in the first round, everyone would be going, well, same old, same old. But at least he's sort of given it a chance. I think if you did what he's done with a team that's only just starting out in the playoffs or whatever, it's a stupid move. But I think it's a fantastic move for what's happened in the past with them. And yeah, I think with this trade, Patrick Kane is going to. He's already started firing towards the back end right before he got traded, and I think he's just going to keep that going. I think he's got a shitload of of potential left in him. Um, and yeah, he's definitely going to make this Rangers outfit extremely deadly.
Yeah. I think it's New York Rangers haven't done anything wrong, and once again they don't lose anything from their current lineup, so it only bolsters it. I guess I'll end it with that. It's interesting, ice hockey in general, that it's very rare for a player to play with the same team for their whole career. Um, I'd say that's probably a bad thing for hockey in general. Like I would have loved to seen Kane just retire as the Blackhawk.
Mm.
I understand salary cap. You go ups and downs, but yeah, I would just like to see kind of a system where these legends retire in the same team that they started off with. It happened with Marty Brodeur. It's happened with Kane here. It's happened with other stars in the past. So yeah, I wonder if there's anything NHL could do anything about that. I don't think there is, but it was just my last little note I wanted to add on there.
Yeah, I think it's because of how long they play. Like it's just, what with Kane, for instance, he's played 16 seasons already. I think 16, maybe 17. But that's a long time to play. Like, teams do not usually stay that strong for that long. So, yeah, I think that's probably the issue around a player being a one-team player. Um, is it's just too hard. And a lot of them realize that towards the end of their career, especially if they haven't won a cup yet, they know they're not going to help their team in a rebuild, so they may as well get what they can for their team that they've loved for so long, move on, try to win a cup, retire, and then potentially go back there. We've seen it happen with a lot of players do that. So I agree with you that it's disappointing that more players aren't one club players, especially someone like a Patrick Kane who's won 3 cups with them and just been absolutely phenomenal and a pivotal part of this dynasty. Um, but ultimately, it's very difficult to sort of keep hold of a player like this, especially when you're going into a rebuild.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's all I had there. So there's not much more I can add on to this trade. Yeah, win for Rangers, win for Arizona, and Chicago get what they could get.
Yeah, awesome. Well, yeah, guys. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Do you agree? Do you think it's a win for all, basically? Do you think Chicago could have gotten more? Um, yeah, let us know what you think. If you like this video, give us a big thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. And yeah, until next time, probably the next trade video, which you'll probably drop at some stage soon. We'll see you next time, guys. Take care.
Cheers.